See the episode description for a list of sensitive content and associated timestamps. Welcome back to Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. We are Philip,
Abby,
Blake, Ethan,
also known as Dungeon Master,
Avis Merlot,
Devon, Merlot,
Neil.
On the last episode, our time travelers were confronted by a street gang outside of the archive. The street gang put up a fight at first, but after seeing magic being wielded by Avis and Devon, they turned to flee. Not before Neil took out a large goon and killed him, were it not for Devon sparing the man's life. Avis, Devon, Neil, and the kid returned to the icebox with their supplies, looting as well the remaining cryopod there, and waited for the shipper to arrive, traveling through the sewers to get to the dock, and bartering with the shipper for months' worth of food and survival equipment and a crossbow before sparing some of their valuable loot to purchase a way off of the continent for a young boy. Because of his mother's pleading and begging, they got a little bit less food and supplies, Neil and Devon being at a disagreement over this, but they left and made their way to the outskirts of New Ronne and began walking off into the Deadlands in the darkness of the long night and the heaviness of the fog surrounding them. Right after they made their way out, though, one more peculiar thing happened. Avis noticed something strange with the kid, with Oliver. Something in his eyes. And that's where we are now. This traveling through the Deadlands will be a survival encounter, and it won't necessarily be boring, but it might get a little one note, so I don't want to spend too much time on the details except when things out of the ordinary happen. So I'll let you guys know we're going to go into some survival mechanics. If something else you'd like to see happen, like Avis trying to talk to Devon or Neil when you can get a second away from the kid, if you are sending Oliver further to scout or something to talk about what should happen, but you say, I'm not going to do that until the first week of travel or 2 weeks of travel, just let me know and we can pause what we're doing. And if something happens because the rolls from the survival mechanics, we can pause and go into a detailed scene of what happens. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
I agree.
That's a Neil response.
That was an Ethan response. Ethan agrees.
Sometime in the first week, Devon wants to take some time to do another one of those artificer infusions.
Okay. Which one would you like to do?
It's going to add some magic to Avis's crossbow. Give it the repeating shot property. So it's going to get a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls and infinite crossbow bolts. It just magically will create them every time one is shot.
Roll for your corruption surge for that. Right now you're at 0, so it only happens on a nat 1.
That's a 13.
You take the crossbow, you take out your tools. You are a tinkerer. You are somebody who worked mechanically with the servers in the server room with Neil. You know engineering, but now you have a magical touch about you, and you just imbue the crossbow with a couple additional features, some screws, something or other that shouldn't create any magical effect, and yet Avis now has infinite ammo. Her crossbow is populated with these phantom, shadowy looking bolts. Abby, how long do you think Avis would wait before sharing her concerns with Devon or with Neil?
I think it'd be a good opportunity while Devon is working on one of the things. He'd be by himself, tinkering on it. That'd be a good time to go bring it up with him.
Okay. You can easily also bait the kid a little bit by sending him to scout ahead, which is something he was excited to do anyways, to make sure you don't hurt his feelings by just inquiring with Devon what he thinks about this. So before the survival mechanics kick in. That can happen in the first week as well. And then you guys can come to a conclusion about like next steps after that and what you might do or say and when that might happen. So in this first week, when you guys are just on your way from New Ronne, only having been traveling for a couple days, sleeping at night on bedrolls that came with the pack, creating small fires with some fire starting kits, fishing along your way during the waking hours in order to conserve your limited preserved supplies and food. Avis, during a period of those first few days, there's a time when you all have sent the kid to scout ahead, more just to use some of his energy up. And Neil is walking a little far behind, fishing, using his harpoon. He's got his mechanical cat circuit on his shoulder. And you can talk with Devon while Devon is working on your crossbow.
Hey, Devon.
Hey, what's up?
I noticed something a little strange about Oliver.
Strange how? I mean, he's a tough kid, I guess.
There was something about his eyes.
Something like freaky or...
Well, do you remember when my dad came in a second time? Before we got shot here?
Oh, right, when he was acting all crazy, like he didn't mean to go in the room or something, and then we didn't just talk to him.
There was something about his eyes, too. In the same way as all of us.
It's weird, I guess.
Devon, as you're thinking about it, give me an intelligence check. And Avis, now that you're talking out loud about it, you can make one as well.
I got a 23.
I got a 20.
You both got over 20. And I think when you're talking about how it reminds you of something that was going on with the administrator in the room with you, and you're thinking about how weird he was acting, it kicks in a little bit of a thought in either or both of your heads. There was something else the administrator was doing that was a little strange. He's your dad, Avis. And yet during a period of high stress and apparent danger, when the unknown stranger appeared in the room and started talking to all of you, the admin started almost like cowering behind you. And you're thinking about how the kid has acted in the couple times of high stress and danger.
That's super weird. There's mystery afoot.
And then like Avis, if you are thinking about the kid was kind of like acting weird when he was leading you to the icebox, like he was kind of like looking around while he was walking and trying to figure, and then he saw the reflective building, like how the musician said, oh, it's that reflective building, and he's like, oh, we're here. That kind of stuff,
Maybe when Oliver grows up and is like an adult, he'll look exactly like the administrator. So then they got switched with time travel so that Oliver was there in the past being like, oh, what? I forgot I just talked to you. And that's why it was super weird, because it was Oliver.
They swapped bodies.
Freaky Friday.
Oh!
He's also doing body swapping.
We should interrogate
I
Oliver.
stab Oliver.
No.
What?
That's what I was thinking. Like, rip his skin off.
You reveal you're a robot body Terminator. And then if we're wrong, we get in so much trouble with Philip.
But then you have the spare the dying.
Spare the dying works on somebody whose skin has been removed.
It's like, no, you're okay.
Oopsie.
We were way too confident about that.
Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, they kind of act the same too. Him and your dad when he was weird that one time.
He was all critical of his son-in-law. Like, that's super weird. What
He was-
was that about?
He was like, he was like acting like he hadn't just talked to us.
Uh-huh.
And then the stranger showed up and he was like hiding behind you.
Oh. That reminds me of Oliver, too.
Yeah. If only Neil were here, he could chime in with his Oliver anecdotes.
He's been listening the whole
That's too bad.
time.
Neil stumbles out between two bushes and says, oh, Devon, Avis, what are you two doing here? I was just admiring the grass.
The bushes here are dead and leafless, and the grass is brown and dormant.
What a wonderful shade of brown. So you two are talking about Oliver?
Were you listening?
Of course I was.
Anyway, yeah, Oliver's been acting kind of weird, right?
Neil, your robot cat Circuit, hops down from your shoulder and into one of the bags to cozy up.
Neil thinks for a second. He's trying to think of his own Oliver anecdotes. Then he goes, well, while you two were on date night, I was alone with Oliver, and I asked him what it was like to be a human. It took him several seconds to respond, and at first I thought it's because I'd asked a strange question. Maybe it's because there's something wrong with Oliver.
Are you implying he's not human?
Was that a strange thing to imply? I take mine back. I read the social cue poorly.
No. It's just, that's not really where my mind was going to go with it.
No, but I did mention there was something about his eyes.
It's true.
Did you notice something about it, Neil?
No, I didn't notice anything about his eyes.
Avis, make another intelligence check, and you can make it with advantage.
Oh, rolled 20 both times.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
A nat 20 or?
No.
Okay.
Hey, but that's still...
But it's still good.
Yeah.
You're trying to visualize those moments in your head in order to describe it better. Trying to think about what was wrong with his eyes. Why did your brain tell you there was something odd there? Both times with the administrator, the second time you all saw him when he was acting weird, and when you all were about to leave town a few days ago, were periods where there is a stressful situation for the person. And it was when the administrator and Oliver, in both situations, were looking back and forth between people. The thing you put your finger on that you couldn't picture before was during that head turning, both with the administrator and with Oliver. When he turned his head, it wasn't like a person would normally do when they're looking between things, keeping their eyes in line with their head and looking to the new thing. It was like there was a delay with his eyes for just a millisecond, really hard to notice, but like he would fluidly and fully turn his head like he was looking at something new, and then his eyes would catch up and look at the new thing. That was happening with both the administrator and with Oliver. Something just a little unnatural that your brain flagged.
When I think about it more, the way to describe the eyes is that there's something unnatural about them, something not as fluid.
So we should put Oliver in a high-stress situation that we engineer, and then watch his eyes.
Knife? Back and forth, threatening
And him? Who's gonna threaten him? It can't be one of us.
Oliver, follow the knife. I don't think he's a robot, right?
I don't think we can rule that out.
I don't know. He seems very human-like.
Can we, check Oliver next time he's sleeping? See if he's, breathing, or... I feel like there's, some subtle stuff we could just check out. Just to rule out, the robot stuff. I think we should just observe him for 2 weeks and see what happens.
That's fine with me.
Okay.
All right. You guys can move forward having that plan, and we can do our first 2 weeks of survival. The first week will have a couple checks. The second week will add an additional one. You have about 2 months of supplies, just to simplify, 60 days of supplies. The trip, as you've mapped out, will take about 90 days. But the first portion of it can be done walking along the coast, where you are able to fish to gather supplies for food, and boil and evaporate salt water and then purify it for drinking water. That leg of the journey is about a month, so right now with the fishing you have about exactly as many days of supplies as you need. But the survival mechanics will see if anything goes wrong during this long, long journey. On week 1, there needs to be a group survival check. DC 13. Group check, meaning that only half the people have to pass it. 2 people, since Oliver is helping you guys and rolling as well. This check can be done with advantage if you slow down and increase your travel time by 1 day, which means you will use a little bit more supplies. It'll take longer to get there. Or if you first succeed on a DC 17 perception check, group check. The former can still be done if you fail the latter. You can choose to still say we're going to slow down because we feel like we're not seeing any supplies, we're not seeing a good route to go forward. You can still choose to slow down, but you can do either of those in order for everybody to make the check with advantage. Would you guys like to try for the perception check for advantage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. No, this is not with advantage. This is regular.
Regular group DC 17 perception check. Oliver rolls a natural 1, something with his eyes. Who knows?
Got a 7.
I got a 16.
I got 22.
That is not a group pass, so unless you want to slow down by 1 day, which I'll be keeping track of this, slowing down, speeding up, overexerting with the other mechanics and stuff.
I don't want to slow down.
I'm not gonna slow down. We're gonna power through.
DC 13 group survival check. Oliver got a 17.
Fabulous.
22.
19.
6. Thank you, guys.
We're so survivally.
Okay, so 1 failure, but the successes are well over 13 by 5 or more, so that's a very good success. You only have to mark down 3 days of food and supplies instead of a full 7 because you stumbled upon a location where there was like a camp where somebody was traveling, and half buried in the dirt there's like some additional supplies that you can add to your stash. Now, the second thing for week 1 is a Constitution saving throw. Each person is rolling individually. This is to avoid disease or injury. This isn't like a casual hike or a walk in the park. You are spending all day out in the damp, in the mist, in the dark, outdoors. That can do a good deal to the immune system and your psyche. So everybody has to make a Constitution saving throw. If you succeed your Constitution saving throw by 10 or more and you have a lot of energy and stamina, you can be looking out for somebody else and also choose to give somebody advantage as a failsafe against a natural 1.
What was the DC?
The DC is a variable one. A natural 1 has a major consequence. A 2 through 9 has a minor consequence. A 10 through 16 has no consequence. And a 17 plus means that you can give advantage to somebody. Oliver got a natural 20, so he can give somebody advantage as a failsafe.
I have got a 9.
19.
I got a 9.
Devon is going to give advantage to Avis.
Hello.
Oliver is going to give advantage to Neil.
Yay.
That's a nat 1.
All right.
What?
He's immune to... What was your other one?
The other one was a 9.
Okay.
I got a 14.
Avis, no consequence. Oliver and Devon have no consequence. They were helping other people because they are more full of energy. Neil, you don't get sick. You are a robot, but you're still susceptible to other problems. You are experiencing a little bit more corrosion being outside in this fog all day, usually in New Ronne, even though you go out sometimes. You're traveling through the sewers. You're staying in the icebox during the long nights. You're not spending so much time out in the wet and cold. For a minor consequence, you receive a -1 to your max HP until you can rest thoroughly for 2 weeks, which you can't rest thoroughly while on this expedition.
Got it.
All right, week 2, perception and then survival check. Oliver got an 8 on the perception.
17.
15.
I got 12.
That is 117, but is not a group success. So no to the perception check. Everybody can make the group survival check. And if you guys want advantage, again, tell me if you ever want to slow down. It will increase travel time by a day. It'll mean, you're using more supplies before you're able to get to the place you're going to.
What's the DC?
13.
I got a nat 1, but this is the survival check for supplies, so it's not a huge deal, probably.
Oliver got a 4.
12.
I got a 16.
It's one success, but it's a group failure. You guys are having a really hard time as you're getting further away in this second week from New Ronne. That dormant brown grass is ending and turning back into mud and sludge. The plant life was growing out from New Ronne, but it was like being cultivated by these large machines that people would use to take care of the landscape and to try to propagate things further. You've been passing these skeletons of the machines stripped of their motors and electrical components and any complex mechanical parts. Long ago, they sit as dormant metal right now, skeletons in the field. And in the second week, you're getting to the mud and the sludge that clings to your boots and makes your feet heavy, and it's just a little bit difficult to tell where you're going, even though you have a map, because it's dark and cold and foggy out. Oliver got a 4, we got a 12, and a 16, and a
4.
All right, so
or 5.
So with the 4 and the 5 and the 12, the group average is at least 5 below a success. You guys are failing by 5 or more. That means 2 additional days worth of supplies are lost because somebody drops a jar or something, or you open one up and discover there's like some rot or something. There was a little crack in the seal for the dried food that let in moisture. So that means that this week of travel took 9 days of supplies.
We saved days last time, so it's okay.
Oh, good.
That's true.
We're still, what, like a full month behind on supplies to start with?
No, because you're fishing every day as well. So like I was saying at the beginning, you basically have 90 days worth of supplies and 90 days worth of travel. Because
Okay.
in the middle of all this, you guys are spending your waking hours like fishing as you're moving along and gathering and evaporating water over the fire at night. Starting this second week, the additional check you make each week of travel is a raw luck check. We only need 1 roll for this. You really want a natural 20. You really don't want a natural 1. In between is mostly okay.
I bet this is the corrupt.
Who wants to roll it?
I'll roll it.
If anybody has anything that lets them re-roll a check, you can use it for this. It's just a luck check.
I forgot I took lucky.
You did?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Wait, I thought you were doing a bit just now.
No, I'm serious. I have lucky.
Okay, then maybe you'll want to take the
Thank you for
luck check, man.
reminding me. But that's okay. You can make it, and then I'll do the next one.
What?
What? Why
I
can't
don't
you
know,
do
so
it?
we can all roll.
But only one person's rolling.
But like, so we can all roll over time.
Why would we not let the person who's good at rolling
Okay,
roll?
Fine, I'll do it.
Please roll right now.
Okay.
I'm confused. Why you don't want to?
I got a nat 20.
No, during the second week? Dude, I had a whole survival encounter.
I could lucky and make it not a nat 20.
Don't do that.
It's
Oh,
weird.
man. I regret going against your weird. No, I won't roll, guys. Abby should roll thing. Abby should have
I was
rolled.
just like, I'll just do the next one. It's fine.
Why?
All right, you got a natural 20, which means you will have some good luck very shortly during the third week. But at the end of the second week, you guys have been, over the course of this, glancing at Oliver when you're all going to sleep around the little fires you're building during the sleeping hours. You see normal breathing, you see normal behavior. He eats, he drinks water, he doesn't act strange in any other way. So you're not really seeing anything that would indicate something wrong with him.
I have my knife to his skin. No, I don't.
For the Terminator plan?
Okay, Neil, this is all you.
Robot to robot.
All right. I wait until the other two are off doing something else.
We went a little bit into the off the path, and we're having date night.
Okay. We have limited supplies, just so you guys know. Be careful with those.
It's all imaginary.
We
Okay.
caught a particularly big fish that day.
Okay. Yeah, so Neil waits until the other two are like off doing something else. And then he goes and sits down next to Oliver. Sits down on the big rock by the fire where Oliver's sitting. He goes, "Oh, Oliver, I didn't see you there."
Well, you didn't? He turns to look at you.
Well, I did see you, Oliver. I just wanted to talk to you.
Well, okay, we can talk. We're making pretty good time, I think.
Me and Devon and Avis have been talking, and we're worried that you're a robot.
What?
We're worried that you're a robot.
Why would you think that?
Your eyes are weird.
What? What do you mean?
And that's really the main thing we've been going off of, to be fair. But if there's something wrong with your eyes, you can tell me.
You guys were all talking about me? Why?
Neil is looking at Avis in the distance, who's like trying to hand signal to him. Because we care about you.
Ollie turns his head to the distance on the edge of the fog, like a couple dozen feet away, and sees Avis there. What are you guys doing?
Oh, they're having a date night. Don't worry about them.
Neil, can I tell you something?
Of course.
I don't know what's happening. What are you asking me?
I'm asking you why your eyes are wrong. He looks to Avis to make sure he said that right.
Neil is looking confidently at Avis. Devon and Avis, can you give perception checks while you're listening in on this?
Got a 15.
19.
Neither of you rolled incredibly poorly, so I think you can both hear in the conversation the kid is starting to stammer a little bit more, and you're seeing when you're glancing up, he's looking a little bit more sad with every sentence. It doesn't look like Neil is doing the best job at this alone.
Can I get an inside roll?
Yeah.
Is this working?
You can make an insight roll.
That's a 10.
You think it's working all right?
He's a smooth talker. He's getting it out of him. So what's wrong with your eyes?
I'm feeling a little bit like you're making fun of me.
Neil looks over for instructions.
Devon kind of gestures like at himself and then like pointing over there.
Neil thinks that this is working, so he shakes his head. He doesn't need help.
I'm gonna give a thumbs down.
Neil like shrugs, like, what are you talking about?
Oliver is looking back and forth between the two of you.
I'm gonna like do the gesture again, being like, yeah, I'm coming there.
Neil is crossing his arms and uncrossing them, going, no way, man.
Oliver waves at you and nods his head yes.
We'll head over. At least Devon will start to head over.
I'll go over.
Can you guys tell me what's happening? What do you mean my eyes are bad?
I didn't say bad, for the record. He's talking to Devon and Avis because he's worried they're going to think he did a bad job.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why do you think my eyes are wrong?
I did say that. That's true.
Neil, that's worse.
Everybody can make an insight check on Oliver.
I got a 21.
I also got a 21.
I got 25.
You guys all think that Oliver knows why you think his eyes are wrong. He's doing like the kid thing of like denying something, but in a kind of way that is too forced or defensive.
Here, Oliver, let's do like a little test, just to make sure we're not seeing things. I'll stand over here, and I go on Oliver's side, and then Avis is gonna stand over there. Now, Oliver, just turn your head and look at me, and then turn your head and look at Avis a few times, pretty fast. And Neil's just gonna observe.
I pull out a stopwatch.
Oliver looks at the stopwatch and he looks at you all. It's not going to tell you what you want. I'm focusing. It's fine.
Oh, so you can kind of fake it?
Yeah. But when there's a lot going on, sometimes I forget that part. It's a little harder to remember everything. Especially, he points to himself, his face. Especially the eyes.
I mean, we're not really sure what it all means, but I mean, you can tell us. It's okay.
Are you guys going to be mad at me?
No, of course not.
Oliver brings his knees to his chest and wraps his arm around them while he's sitting on the rock close to the fire. And he says, really? My parents didn't like it. They didn't like me.
Well, they don't like the people that can use magic either, and here's two of us.
I don't know what order to tell you guys things in.
Well, start anywhere, I guess.
Okay. And you're not going to make me leave?
No.
No, of course not.
We would never do that.
Well, to start, I guess, he points at his face. I'm not this kid. I'm not Oliver. I am a kid, but I'm not him. When Miss Avis and I got sent to the future by that person in the server room, I was like a little bit behind her, and when we stopped moving through time, I was like in a building and I didn't see her, but I could hear somebody moving around outside. Neil and Devon, you remember how when you moved forward in time, you stayed in position and the ground moved under your feet, changing where you were relative to like the outside and the buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Avis, you remember that when you landed at this point in time, your back was to the wall of a building.
So, you pretended to be the administrator, right? But then in this time, you pretended to be the real Oliver. Where is Oliver?
Well, I was kind of caught off guard by you guys in the server room, and I knew if you saw me as the administrator, if I walked outside to try to talk to you, that you would start asking questions, and I didn't want to answer the questions. And so I thought if I looked like somebody else, then you wouldn't know that I was that person, because I knew I was like being weird and stuff. I didn't know you guys would be in that room, and I didn't know the administrator was your dad. I just knew that he could get anywhere in the station without being questioned. And you guys see he's like acting very meekly, knees are still to his chest. So I wanted to look like somebody else. And I was in the building, and when I was making my way outside, I just saw this kid asleep in one of the apartments. The door didn't have a door. It was just like an opening, and there was like a family sleeping there, and I just chose him. And then I was trying to, I don't want to sound scary, but I just like was nervous, and I wanted to see what you were doing because I didn't know where we were or what happened. And so I was like trying to follow behind you while you were walking around, and then that lady called me over to the fire, and I didn't want to give anything away, so I just went with everything that she was saying.
So that's why you didn't know where the icebox was.
So what's your real name?
I had a name back then too, but it was a name my parents gave me, and I did lie a little bit about that. They're not dead, or at least they weren't dead before we got here, but they were mean, and they didn't like what I am. And so, I don't know, I was just, that name doesn't really matter to me more than this one. You can call me Oliver if you want. You could call me Simon. People have names.
You don't think you're a person?
I don't know. That was what I was trying to find out. If there was any research in the station, I thought maybe I could get like some answers, and then I don't know. I was tired of the way my parents treated me, and I wanted to be somewhere else or fix this if it meant they would stop.
Do you know Milo?
My parents didn't let me go to the daycare with the other kids. They kept me inside. But I saw, actually, you guys once or twice, like walking by our house through the window. Is Milo the little boy that would like walk with you guys sometimes?
Yes, that's our son.
This might be a horrible thing to ask, but can you turn into anybody?
You see, he stays silent for a little bit. I don't look like anybody when I don't look like somebody else. Back then, it was as random as this kid, and he points back at his face. It was just some kid from a cereal box. My parents didn't like when I didn't look like kid. And so I guess, I don't know, I've been able to turn into anybody that I've tried to.
Do you remember what Milo looks like? I'd like to see him just for a minute. You don't have to, of course.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. It's harder when I'm not looking at somebody, but also, no. When I'm changing, I have to go back to the other form first, and he shakes his head no at you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Super weird.
I
thing
wouldn't
to
have
ask
asked that.
him. Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
I understand why. Like, I can sympathize.
But this is a
it's-
kid who's already in a bad spot. You just want to use him to see your own kid.
He's a father mishandling the situation because he's upset.
What about magic? You said before that you had tried, but I guess that was a lie?
Well, I tried when I saw you guys do it, like when we were walking back. I was trying to like make something come out of my hand and it didn't work. I didn't know about magic before getting here. No, I mean, we didn't. Nobody back then talked about it. I don't know if like the adults knew and the kids didn't or something, or if it was something you were taught when you went and talked to other people. But like, I didn't know about it.
I know why, right?
Why what?
Why there wasn't magic in the past?
Do you know what caused the magic?
I mean, you saw it come in around the same time as the fall,
Okay.
as like collapse started. It's not clear that was like an inherent cause of it or what was going on. It just started like, you think in your experience it must affect people the same way that like it comes from the engine that the healers and healing magic come from. It just started going weird at some point. That's all you know. But it like didn't exist back then.
Because it did exist or like there was healing magic at the original research station for like episode 1.
Yeah,
But
the
then
healers
when
were
we
like
jump
an
forward-
ingrained part of society in episode 1.
Yeah.
But like the network and the Bloom and the healers only did healing magic.
And then like the fascist utopia, there was no magic at all.
I don't know if that's a fact of the world or a fact of the fascist utopia.
Your experience living in that era was that they were putting something in like the water that was suppressing people's ability to connect to the network. And like that's why there were no healers, and in like New Ronne and the colonies there weren't access to healers, and the animals that were bound to the continent, like that drank fresh water from places in the colonies, were just animals. You believe that wasn't true of the world at large, but just anywhere that was within reach of the United.
So I guess like out of character, we could assume that the guy we saw when we jumped forward are there more of these people, or is that the same person but 100 years in the future? That's the question.
It's an interesting one. You know that with everything you learned and everything that Neil learned, it seems like you guys are in a future that would have been the future with you guys still there before the strangers showed up to send you away. So it would be a future where maybe that weird version of the administrator, if you think that's the kid now, like left, backed out of the room, went and hid something or other, you don't know, but like it would be a future where something didn't happen to connect you guys or like move you guys anywhere. So theoretically, he would still be around in this timeline. You're just not sure about like, well, we moved 157 years in the future.
So that means the administrator didn't get moved at all.
Right.
But like the drunk administrator.
Could be the kid 100 years in the future.
That's true, I
or
guess.
however long that time period is.
Okay.
Or there are other people like him.
Well, why did they choose the
Another-
administrator?
What?
Why did they choose to be the administrator?
That's true.
The kid looks at all you guys and says, I wasn't trying to be like scary or anything. You just, Miss Avis and Mr. Devon, you guys seemed really nice, and like I didn't know anybody else when we got here and I was like scared and I wanted to stick with you guys, and Neil is really cool and I like Circuit, and I just thought that like if you knew about any of that stuff, you would be scared of me like my parents were scared of me.
We're not scared of you. You just have to understand that we were surprised and we didn't know what to expect.
So I can stay?
You can stay.
He looks like confused, and you see he's like rubbing his own hands and like rubbing his thumbs and stuff like nervously. If you're not like weirded out by it, I might just like keep looking like this for now. I don't like feel comfortable the other way, but I know it's like I know like if you think about it, it can be a little weird. So maybe instead of Oliver, you guys could just call me Kid.
If that's what you would like, we'll call you Kid.
Okay. He looks like he doesn't know what to say, and he's trying to like not be too overly excited. He's like suppressing a smile or whatever. So like, I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I think it's time for dinner, I guess.
He nods and smiles. He's like, okay, yeah, time for dinner. Cool. And you guys move on after that. It might come up again in the future, but for now, there's an understanding a little bit of what happened. And as you move past your second week of travel and into your third, you all had rolled a natural 20 on your luck check in only the second week of a long travel encounter that I had that I had planned.
And we get a boat right on the shore.
Amen.
In your third week of travel, you all see a strange thing in the distance. Neil, this looks a little familiar to you. You've seen her before. Her schedule is sporadic, and you had no idea where on the continent she would be at this point, or if you would happen to see her on your journey, or if she would help you. You see in the distance a cart train of like 2 different wagons in series tied together, large things that are like covered but boxy and like have doors and panels and compartments and stuff. And sitting on the driver's bench in the front is a short woman who is quite old and has like frazzled white hair, lots of wrinkles and sagging skin, and pulling the cart is an enormous hog, like a pig. Kind of picture like one of those medieval drawings of a pig where they're like really big and round, but their face is really low down and they're all body up top.
Yes.
And he's like in a harness pulling the cart along. And in the distance, she makes eye contact with your group once the fog is low enough and you guys see each other. And she starts waving at you all. Jonathan, stop. And the pig kind of stops walking. You see that she doesn't have reins or something to lead the pig by. He responds to her saying that.
By rearing up.
No.
With the stamp of his hooves.
With the stamp of it. So he like throws back like a horse and immediately flips over both the carts into destruction.
No, Jonathan, no.
Jonathan would never.
Now we can get all the stuff we want.
And the merchant says, wow, what are you all doing out here?
We're just traveling through.
Just traveling through? You look a little green to be just traveling through. You guys are gonna die out here.
Can you help us with that then?
She jumps off the cart and you see she stands like a proud 3.5 feet tall, hunched over, and she says, absolutely. What do you need help with?
We gotta get all her magic gold rocks.
He's
Too soon.
He's doing McDonald.
He's doing the devil at Gold Basin.
Okay, you know, you guys have been making the joke, but this time I am doing it just a little bit. This was by request. I made a TikTok and I was like, any cool, funny NPCs anybody want to see in campaign 3? And somebody very sweetly commented, I really like when you do like crazy little old men. Could you please do like a crazy little old woman for me? It would mean a lot. And I was like, hell yes, I can do a crazy little old woman for you.
Ethan, you know what to do.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Circuit pulls out their gun.
Hey.
She is wearing a full body protection shield. She is wearing an Ethan NPC protection shield. She's got the biggest plot armor, but it's only for Ethan's character.
28 AC.
She's got
28 AC only when Ethan is doing
poster
something.
on the side of the card, picture of Augustus. Do not
interact. Picture of Augustus, picture of Scratch, picture of Neil. She asked you, what do you all need help with?
Neil will say, you know what? Neil will pull out a map.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He'll kind of show her where they're trying to get to. We're trying to get here, and we have just about enough food or water, assuming nothing goes wrong. Can you help us?
You see she looks at the map and she kind of like starts like scratching at her back while she's thinking, and then she haphazardly takes out an old thing that looks like a machete and uses it as a back scratcher while she's looking at the map. And she says,
why do you want to go there? I don't think there's no people there. You know what? Not my place to ask. You need to go there? You guys look like you're not really prepared for that long of a journey.
In what way?
Well, for starters, you look like you could be flipped over.
Me?
Yeah, like I push you on your back and then you couldn't get up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Try it.
Oh.
she's gonna make a strength check.
With advantage because he doesn't expect her to be strong at all. So he's not even like putting up any resistance.
First roll's a 17 on the dice.
Oh no, you're screwed.
Oh, do I roll opposed?
How hard are you resisting?
Not at all.
I'll roll with disadvantage.
She rolled a 19 total.
It's a 4.
She says, okay. And she like takes a running start and kind of like hop, headbutts you in the stomach and you fall onto your back. The big pack that you're wearing on your back, literally like propping you a little bit off the ground, and you start moving your arms and legs before you realize, hold on, I'm doing the turtle thing. I'm giving her too much with this. Be cool.
Start like brushing myself off and just push up.
Like that. So I'd feel a little bad sending you all on your way like that. What if I took you?
I feel like Neil's too used to working with the shipper, so he's like immediately suspicious. He's like, you would take us there?
Sure, I'd appreciate the company. I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between all the former colonies, and my only companionship is Jonathan here. And don't get me wrong, I love Jonathan, but he's not much of a talker.
And Jonathan says,
No, I don't like to talk.
I like Jonathan. That's a good voice.
Jonathan, I like it when you talk for what it's worth.
Thank you. Jonathan's my pal. He's my friend. We've been lifelong. But he's a quiet one, so I wouldn't mind if you paid me with conversation.
This is the nat 20. Fire. I'll take it.
Let's go.
All right. I mean,
I'm gonna shake her hand and get on the cart.
as long as we can get a rematch.
I'll give you a rematch anytime you want, punk.
Whoa. I might need a couple days to rest up first.
All right.
and she leads you guys to the second of the two carts in the train and opens up a door. And you see this one is packed a little lighter, but there are shelves and shelves of like preserved food and alcohols and supplies. No like weapons or complex things or anything that people might greedily and like immediately try to give away to the shipper for even better supplies. She looks like she has stuff that is made here, transporting it in between the settlements, in between the cities, but she does it on her own time, in her own way, and is a strange little woman. And she motions for you all to climb into the back of the cart, all four of you.
As we're getting on the cart, I give Devon like a pat on the back as we're getting on, and it's like, it's way too hard of a pat, but he knows now that I have good control over that. So this one's not an accident. I'm messing with him this time.
I'm like, did he do that on purpose? Or am I just weaker than I thought I was?
As you stumble a little bit forward and you all climb into the cart, the merchant turns it around, Jonathan heaves in the dirt as he takes a wide circle and starts heading in the direction that you had indicated. And that's where we'll end this episode of Fire and Smoke, New Ronne. If you want to keep up with the show, follow us on our TikTok or Instagram at Fire and Smoke Podcast. If you're enjoying what you hear, please leave a review on whatever platform you're using to listen to the show. Does anybody else have anything they want to say before the end of the episode?
You should shout out the person that gave you the old woman idea.
I don't want to put anybody out online if I didn't get their permission to.
It's fair.
I can ad-lib it real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
A warm special shout out to Steven Anderson from Kentucky. Hi, Steven. We made this episode dedicated specifically to you.
Shout out Steven Anderson, #1 fan, lifelong. Shout out.
You could say the person.
The person.
Shout out to the person who left that comment on TikTok. I really liked the idea, and I was already kind of thinking about there's like a merchant or something, and they said crazy old woman, and I was like, absolutely, that's what the merchant is, actually. What a good idea.
This is what happens when you make me roll, Philip. I didn't even use lucky.
You didn't even use lucky. You guys got it on week 2. I was starting to track the days left to travel, supplies left. I had all this stuff about if it's a more than 5, it's a major injury. It sets them back a week and leaves a lasting effect, like a badly healed arm or something, or they get caught in a mudslide if there's a nat 1 on the luck roll. Things aren't you're not gonna teleport to where you need to go. That's gonna make the journey a lot easier though, with the merchant's cart and Jonathan's help.
It's because you put too much effort into the system.
It's because I put so much effort into it.
Therefore, we don't get to do it.
No, I have to be punished. It's my fault. You guys had a really touching conversation with the kid.
Yeah. Even if Devon did put his foot in his mouth a little bit.
And it's a stinky foot.
It was a bad foot. Fan art? Make sure to, add stink lines to his feet. That's part of it.
That's not part of it.
That's part of the character. In the official promo art for the season, he's gonna have stinky feet.
I guess that's part of it.
No, people are gonna think it's a fetish thing.
Oh.
Don't add stink lines to the feet.
It's a fetish thing? Hey, all the more power to you. Especially you, Jonathan Anderson. Wait, what was the guy's name?
Steven!
Jonathan's the boar.
Sorry. Especially you, Steven Anderson. You know what I'm talking about.
You can't call Jonathan out like that.
One of our listeners is just a Steven Anderson in Kentucky. You said Kentucky?
I said Kentucky. Big KY. Woo!
Big Kentucky, and he's sitting there how do they know I have a foot thing?
Hey, Philip.
Uh-huh.
Is Eric still on his way?
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. When he was getting groceries, he was about to check out, but he tried to go through the 25 items or less line, and he had 30 items, and they really gave him a hard time about that. I think he's still at the store, in trouble for real.
That's messed up. I didn't know they could do that.
I didn't either. It's crazy, right? He said he'll be here next time, though.
Okay.
All right. Well, since we got that figured out, then I guess it's time to slay.
Bull.